Welcome back! In this lesson, we'll apply everything we've learned so far to build the navigation bar and footer elements for our portfolio website. Along the way, we'll see how duplicating objects can save us time and effort throughout the design process. Let's go! First, we'll build the navigation bar, which we'll call the nav bar for short. The nav bar will be the primary navigation menu for people visiting our portfolio and will include space for a word mark, menu items that link to pages in our site, and a button to open a contact page or email form. We'll start by creating a frame that is 1440 by 80 to give us a foundation for our nav bar. Rename this frame to Navigation. We're using 1440 since that's how wide the desktop frame preset is, but we'll change this fixed value to fill container when we add it to the final design to ensure it always spans the full width of the website at any width. Now that we have a frame, we can create our word mark. A word mark is a stylized, text-based logo that identifies a person or brand. It's common to see word marks prominently featured in the navigation elements of a website to boost brand recognition and also provide a handy way for visitors to return to the homepage. We don't have a word mark yet, so let's whip one up using a text layer. Create a new text layer inside the navigation frame. Enter your name, then click and drag the text layer to the left side of the frame. Use the red guidelines to help you center the text layer vertically on the frame. No need to stress about the spacing. We'll use auto layout to take care of that shortly. We're sticking with the default Inter font for our word mark, but this is a great time to explore other fonts and find what fits your personal brand. Just keep in mind, other font families may not offer the same font weights we'll be using. We want our word mark to stand out amongst the other content in the nav bar, so we'll switch up some of the typography properties to increase its visual weight and hierarchy. Select the text layer and change the font weight to something heavier like black and the size to 20. Great! Let's move on and add some menu item links to our nav bar. We'll create these using the text tool. Add another text layer to the navigation frame and type link as a placeholder for now. We'll come back and update the label shortly. Since we want these links to have less visual weight than our word mark, we'll set the font weight to medium and the font size to 16. Center the text layer on the navigation frame and move it to the right side of the frame. Be sure to leave a little space for the rest of the nav bar's content. In this course, we're keeping things simple with just one additional page, but you may eventually need several pages as your portfolio grows. So why not plan ahead? Let's add a few extra menu items to help future-proof our nav bar. Don't worry, later in this lesson, we'll walk through how to hide these extra layers until you need them. Instead of using the text tool to create more text layers, we can duplicate the layer we just added. Duplicating an object streamlines the copy and paste process into a single step, making it a fast and easy way to replicate objects like layers, frames, or instances. There are two primary ways to duplicate an object, using the modifier key or the keyboard shortcut. To use the modifier key, click on an object and drag your cursor while holding Option on Mac or Alt on Windows. This allows you to place the duplicated object exactly where you want it on the canvas. Once duplicated, you can use Tidy Up and Smart Selection to evenly space a selection of duplicated objects, adjust the horizontal or vertical spacing between objects, or rearrange objects into neat rows, columns, or grids. You can also select an object and duplicate it using the keyboard shortcut, Command-D on Mac or Control-D on Windows. When using this method on shapes, text layers, components, and child frames, the duplicated object is placed directly on top of the original. You can then click and drag it to move it to its new position. For top-level frames and sections, the duplicated object appears to the right of the original where there is space on the canvas. If you immediately use the keyboard shortcut on a duplicated object, Figma will maintain the same distance used between the first and second objects. Similarly, if you duplicate an object, rotate the duplicated object, then continue duplicating the object using the shortcut, the new objects will maintain the degree of rotation. These are great ways to create repeating patterns and custom shapes. We'll use both duplication methods to create more menu items. Select the text layer, hold the modifier key, and drag the duplicated layer to the right of the original. Select the new layer and use the keyboard shortcut to duplicate it again. Figma recognizes the pattern and places the third layer to the right of the second. Hold Shift and select all 3 layers. Click Align Vertical Centers to make sure they're all aligned, then press Shift-A to add them to a frame with auto layout applied. Set the horizontal gap to 24 and rename the frame to Links. Let's pause for a moment and talk about the flexible nature of auto layout. Remember when we mentioned future-proofing our design elements? Well, by incorporating auto layout, we're ensuring our designs can adapt to different configurations. If we wanted to add more menu items, we could create another text layer and drag it into the link frame. Or we could select an existing text layer and duplicate it using the shortcut we just learned. Either way, the auto layout frame will automatically grow to accommodate these changes. If we wanted to remove menu items, we could delete the extra layers. That method works, but it is a permanent change. Later on, when we add instances of our navigation bar, we won't be able to add additional menu items without changing the main component, which would impact every instance in the file. Instead, we can hide layers we don't immediately want to use. Hiding a layer toggles the visibility of that layer without removing it from the frame. Auto layout respects the hidden layer and adjusts the frame as if the layer were removed. Later on, you can unhide the layer on individual instances where it's needed, and auto layout will accommodate the newly visible layer. Pretty neat. The nav bar is starting to come together. Now let's add a button. Head over to the Assets tab in the left sidebar and select Created in this file. Remember that button component we created earlier? Click and drag it into the navigation frame. Place it just to the right of the links frame and use the guide to center it. Next, select both the button and the links frame, then press Shift-A. We're making a new frame here rather than adding the button to the links frame, so we can independently control the spacing between the menu items and the button. Adjust the horizontal gap to 40 and set both resizing properties to Hug Contents. Rename the frame to Extra Content. Remember when we created the elements for our case study page? We set the maximum width to 1000 so they'll all remain aligned on the page. We want the navbar's content, the word mark, menu items, and button to line up with the rest of those elements, while still allowing the navigation frame to span the full width of the website. To do that, we need to connect the word mark layer with the rest of the navbar content. Select the word mark layer and the extra content layer, then press Shift-A. Rename this new frame to Content. Set the max width for the frame to 1000, and leave the height resizing property to Hug Contents. Instead of specifying a gap amount, we'll set the horizontal gap to Auto. This equally distributes the available distance within the parent frame between the child layers. Because we only have 2 sets of layers, our word mark and the extra content frame, AutoGap will push them to the edges of the frame as far as possible. We're almost done building our navbar. We just need to apply auto layout to the navigation frame. Select the navigation frame and press Shift-A. In the auto layout section, set the height resizing to fixed and make sure the value is set to 80. Then set the horizontal padding to 24 and the vertical padding to 0. Finally, set the frame's alignment to Align Center. This gives us a nice margin on the left and right sides of the nav bar so our content doesn't crowd the edge. Before moving on, make sure the width resizing of the content layer is set to Fill Container. The nav bar looks great. Now it's time to build the footer element. Taking a look at the final design, you'll notice the footer looks very similar to the nav bar. Let's save ourselves a bunch of time and use the navigation frame as the foundation of our footer. Duplicate the navigation frame using either of the methods we learned earlier. Rename the duplicated frame to footer. Unlike the nav bar, we don't need a button in the footer. Locate the button layer in the layer section and delete it. We want to keep the links frame, but the extra content frame is no longer doing anything, so let's remove it. Select the extra content frame, right-click, and select Ungroup. Ungrouping a frame removes it from the canvas and pushes its child layers up in the layer hierarchy. We'll use this space for our contact info, so let's rename the links frame to Contact. Because we want the content in the nav bar and footer to be the same on every page, let's update the copy before turning them into components. That way, we won't have to update the copy in every instance we add. In the navigation frame, we'll update one of the menu item labels to Case Studies. Since we only need one link at the moment, let's hide the other two text layers for now. See how the frame adjusts? Next, let's make sure our buttons label has a strong call to action. Something that says, "Click me, I'm important." Looks good. For the footer, we'll leave the word mark as is, but update the text layers to include our email address and phone number. We'll hide the third text layer for now. When you're done, select both frames, click the arrow next to Create Components, and choose Create Multiple Components. Be sure to move them to the Components page before moving on. Excellent work! We just built a navigation bar and footer element using text, frames, instances, and auto layout. We then turned them both into components so we can reuse them on every page of our website. We have one more element to create before we can put everything together. In the next video, we'll use Boolean operations, vector edit mode, and the arc tool, along with auto layout, to create an element that showcases our skills to potential employers. See you there!